Good morning, everybody. Actually, for you guys watching it, it's good afternoon. So when you guys watch it, the Penn State Ohio game will have already started. So if you're not a college football fan and you're tuning in, or if you tune in after the game, thank you very much. I'm Stippling Vaughn, and as you can see, I'm at my local dive bar. That's the other side of the booth that I'm sitting at. And congratulations, Andy Smith. He hit over 100,000 with his crowdfunded book, Cord Raft. Very excited, very happy for him. In fact, I normally only do shots when a creator gets to 250,000. But I really like Andy, and Andy's one of the creators that got me into supporting and believing in crowdfunding comics. I was introduced to him through Graham. And so congratulations. Here's the big thing, is he did it on Monday night, okay? Normally Monday nights comics get Kings. Well, Ethan was watching the Phillies baseball game. So Andy fired up a stream himself, and he had pretty much all the Kings on. Graham Nolan, the Eagle, made his return to YouTube streaming by jumping on the channel to support Andy. He wasn't on too long. He's still recovering from his surgery. What that surgery is, I don't know. It's actually none of our business. The important thing is, though, is that he's back. He had taken a hiatus from streaming, not because of health issues, but because he fell behind on his book. And he wanted to make sure he did not miss his production deadline, so he wouldn't be late on his fulfillment deadline. So Graham has been taking a break for the last few months. So it's good to see him back. Up until then, the only time you ever saw him was when the Bros were streaming. So it was really good. Great stream. And the biggest thing is that Andy did it on his own. Like I said, he was doing the show on his own. It was on his channel. And he did it. Now, he did end the stream after he'd hit 100K, and John Malin did one of his post-Kongs streams. As I understand it, he ended the night at 108K. So congratulations, Andy. You've believed in this project. One of the things that I really liked about this project was you went all out. When I say that, when you had the artist edition available, that showed to me how much faith you had in your book. And he also was smart about how he did it. Having Dennis Turner is a huge D&D fan, and getting Dennis to do a role-playing, a D&D style gaming module, and reusing the artwork from the issue in the module, I thought was very smart. I think about it, how like Ethan's the ones who really mastered. How can I take this one image and reuse it over and over again? Andy's been paying attention to what Ethan's doing. He's been paying attention to Ethan's success, and he utilized it for his own success. So congratulations to you, Andy. I am very happy for you. And I can't wait to get the book. I backed it, not just getting the book, but I also backed it at the level for the artist edition. As I said, when he first said he was doing Cord Raft, and that he was going with a style that none of us had ever seen before, I was one of the people who was vocal going, what? You already established that you had your style, which was superhero, but then you also had that cartoony style that you're using with Marvel, which I thought was which I really did enjoy, and I was like, why aren't you doing that? He proved me wrong. So congratulations, Andy. I'm very happy for you, and I can't wait till that live stream where you and Dennis are getting blasted off your butts at the local brewery. So another big announcement this week, which I've known about. Okay, I've known about this announcement it was forthcoming. I knew going all the way back to the Garden State Comic-Con. Okay, Chris Batista, who he is a really good artist. He should have a lot more mainstream work. It's been announced, whether it's Gotchaman or G-Force, okay? Essentially, it's we all know it as, if anybody old like me, you remember it as Battle Against the Planets, or Battle for the Planets. I forget what it was actually called. He is a part of the team that's doing G-Force. And he had with him at the Garden State Comic-Con his sketchbook of the characters. And if you go onto his Facebook page, you can see all those pages now. He's released them for everybody to see. And oh my God, it was so, like an example of like Condor. He has a page of like 4 or 5 different headshots of Condor, both in his helmet and out of his helmet. And he said he was doing that to just get a good feel of the character. And as he put it, he goes, we're not redesigning the characters, we're not reimagining the characters. It's exactly the same as it was when it was first created. The only thing that they're doing is they're like kind of like updating like the clothing. So the clothing's still going to look relatively the same, but it's going to have a little bit of a more modern look. But everything else about the characters is remaining exactly the same. And that's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want as fans. And it kills me how Marvel and DC, they're the biggest players in the game and they don't get it. But the crew that Chris is working with, they get it. Give us what we want. We just want action. Yeah, update it so they have maybe a little bit more of a modern clothing style. Maybe update their hairstyles a little bit, but overall, keep them the same. And he was killing it with these sketches. Like I said, go to his Facebook page and take a look at the pages of the sketches he was doing. They look beautiful. But I had seen him when I saw him at Garden State. He showed it to me. I was just so excited and happy for him. And he's one of those creators. When you see him, he has so much energy in him. All you have to do is to see that enthusiasm and energy in him is go and, if you don't have it already, grab a couple issues that he did of Legion and go to a show and have him sign them. His eyes will light up and he will be talking your ear off about the Legion of Superheroes. He loved working on that book. He loved what you were doing, and it shows in the pencils. He did a great job. Same thing, like Justice, where it's like he doesn't really get into it and show that enthusiasm when you show him an issue of Thunderbolts. He doesn't get to give you that energy, but he gives you that energy when you show him a Legion of Superheroes, or the short 5-issue run of Justice League when those Rags Morales did the covers, he did the interiors, and it was during the Identity Crisis. He really put his all into that, and I think I personally, I never really outright asked him, but I think he liked the fact that he got a chance to do all like the minor DC superheroes, which is what made the Justice League of America such a great title. They've really lost that magic when they went back to, oh, Justice League, you cannot publish it unless it has Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the Flash, Green Lantern. You can't do the book unless it has those guys in it. I mean, I personally, I liked it when the core group of characters was Green Arrow, Black Canary, Hawkman, Red Tornado. Okay, those were the guys that really made that's how I discovered the book. And for me, as one of those, like, the reason why I discovered it is because it wasn't all about Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman. It was about the other characters. And that's how I was introduced to, like, Zatanna and Red Tornado and Firestorm and the Elongated Man. The Elongated Man, he might have been a freaking joke to everybody else, but I liked him. I liked him better than Plastic Man. First time I was introduced to Plastic Man was in the Saturday morning cartoon, and it was just completely goofy and stupid to me. So, I mean, you can tell when in those pages he gave it his all. So, I hope you all are as excited as me that a very well-deserving artist has been awarded the keys to the producing the G-Force comic book. I'm very happy for him, and I can't wait. I mean, I will be one of those people who will be posting about it, just basically just crying out the accolades and giving him all the props in the world and all the support by buying the book. Okay, that is a book that if I could, I know right now, if I went to my local comic book store and said, hey, I want this put on my pull list, they wouldn't be able to because it's not in the system yet. Okay, but if it was in the system, I better damn well believe I would be on my pull list already. And I have a very small pull list now these days. So, but the thing is though, is that this announcement was kind of dwarfed. It was dwarfed by the announcement that Warner Brothers has awarded many of their properties to be published by Dynamite Comics. They've been awarded Thundercats, Space Ghost, Flintstones, a couple other characters. And the first thing that dawned on me, and I was like, wait a second, is Warner Brothers owns these properties. Warner Brothers has its own publishing division. It's called DC Comics. So what does that say to you if Warner Brothers is saying, DC, we're not going to let you guys handle these properties. We want someone else to handle these properties. Okay, that to me is very telling of what's going on in the comic book industry, and that's what's going on with DC Comics. It tells me that DC Comics is currently a damaged brand, and they don't want these properties associated with DC Comics. Now this brings me to my last piece of information, or my last commentary about this is there was an announcement made this week by a comic book writer, a DC comic book writer, where he went and attacked the fans. His name is Tim Sheridan. And for me, how he went out and the way he made his announcement, where he essentially attacked potential fans, shows what's wrong with DC. The fact that he was allowed to do this, and it's still out there, it has been pulled, tells me that DC is a damaged brand, and that they're not actually, they don't care about what happens. But what I really think what's going on here with Tim, with the way he made his announcement, and how basically what he's saying is that I need you guys to step up to the plate and make Green Lantern a hit. Okay, I think personally that Tim is on the chopping block. I think either he discovered before he did this book or after he started this book, he's been informed that if this book does not do well, he's out of a job. Because he proposed, the way he proposed it, okay? Now, he lashed out on Comicsgate, and anybody who doesn't agree with, or who doesn't support this book, is an istophobe, is a hateful person. And I look at it quite truthfully that I think that he's on his way out. He's only been doing comic books since January of 2021. And none of his books, I remember getting a couple of his books. He got his debut when DC did their Future State, which was it was like for 2 months you got a series of books with characters that were like in the future of the DC universe, and just by how these characters were presented, it's one of those where it's like, this isn't for me. I what's going on here? I don't like the direction of these characters. And then he went into Dawn of the Justice League, and I got a Titans Academy, and I tried to read it. I could not even finish reading the first issue. And I'd reached the point, because of the pandemic and going so long without reading these books, that I'd reached the conclusion that if I can't finish a book, there's no reason for me to get any more of them. So I got the first issue of Titans Academy, but I never had a reason to buy any more of them because the first issue was so bad. So I really am looking at what he's doing, how he's lashing out at the fans, and how he's like, well, like, you need to take a stand. He's like, again, he's drawing a line in the sand, and you need to support this book. You need to go out and buy it. You need to buy all the variant covers. Excuse me. Nobody tells me what I have to do. Okay? It is your responsibility to provide me with a story I like. Now, Shane and Yanze, on Friday morning, they posted a video really explaining it completely, where it's basically, dude, it's too late, okay? The comic book retailers have already placed their orders for issue 1. They've already placed their orders for issue number 2, and they probably have, if they don't have them finalized, they'll be finalized very soon for issue 3. And he's all of a sudden making this video and lashing out and saying how it's our job to support this book, and if we don't, we're homophobic. His stuff has not been good. The reason why I can say that is because just before I started this video, I had Wes from Thinking Critical on. And he was talking about with other guys that still read DC Comics. And these guys are still fans of mainstream books. And even they were saying that his stuff's not that good. Okay, that speaks volumes to me. That is one of those where it's like, the problem is not me. The problem is Tim. He is not a good writer. I think DC knows that, and he's on his way out the door. And it's his way of basically blaming us for his failures. Instead of looking and acknowledging where can he do a better job, he's lashing out and saying, you are the problem. No, I'm not the problem. I don't have any problems. Okay? I don't care about this story that you are telling. Okay? You are producing a bad book. Okay? And like I said, how he's presenting this information, or how he's presenting how you have to buy this latest issue of Alan Scott Green Lantern, is it's like he is Oliver Twist at the beginning of the book. Please sir, I want some more. Okay, that's who Tim is. Tim is at the doors of DC going, please sir, I'd like some more walk. I know my stuff is shit. I know it is bad, but please sir, I'd really like some more so I can fuck it up even more. Because I'm a really bad writer. And I have no real ideas. The reason why I say that so confidently is he comes from a writer's standpoint of writing Warner Brothers animated movies that other people have written. Okay? So the example being Batman, The Long Halloween. He was one of the writers to adapt it to being a movie, an animated movie. So he's proving that he can take what other people write and then adapt it to an animation medium. But it's when someone else did all the hard work. Okay, he just basically got to move the word bubble, to erase the word bubbles, but take those sentences that the characters are saying and change their placement so it works with a animated story. Okay, but as to having his own ideas and telling an actual original story on his own, he's not capable of it. Okay, now first of all, I don't think he's ever going to watch this, but if he does, he's going to label me as an istaphobe, as homophobic, as anti-LGBTQ. Buddy, Timmy, Timmy, you don't know me, okay? You're producing a crap book with crap, and you have a crap artist, okay? When I saw the artwork for these pages, and I looked at it, and I'm like, there is this. First of all, you can tell that this stuff's being drawn on an iPad. There's literally no line weight to this. There's no texturing to this. Okay, that is not my cup of tea. I mean, take a look at what I'm drawing. Okay, I'm putting in texture and depth into my work. Okay, the stuff that I'm seeing for the preview pages of this story, there is no line weight. The character expressions are horrible. It's one of those where it's like, I mean, and here's why I guess this is where I get personal. Okay, is what I'm seeing being produced, artwork for this book. Okay, if I had been going to the Kubrick School and I was producing this artwork, I would have gotten a failing grade. Okay, I would have gotten a failing grade. It is so piss poor. Okay? So, guess what? You could have told a great story. But if you got piss poor artwork, guess what? It's going to get flushed. I'm going to use I'm going to use it as a drink coaster, and I'm going to intentionally spill my drink all over it. That's how little respect I have for this artwork. But lashing out and blaming others, okay, that tells me that A, please sir, I want some more. And it's also telling me that he knows it's shit. He knows it's shit. He doesn't want to admit that what he is doing is bad. So he's like, I know this is going to be absolute failure. I know that the editors in DC are going to tell me that I did a bad job. I need to have an out. I'm going to use these hateful people who could have bought my book. I'm going to blame them. I'm going to beat them to the punch. I'm going to blame them so that way when it comes out and it's a shitty book and has shitty sales, I don't have to take the blame for it. I'll blame them. So, but hey, he can do what he wants. He's the one who's deciding to make these actions, take these actions. And the fact that DC is not making him pull it, the fact that DC is not even addressing this tells me again, DC is a broken company. DC doesn't care, and DC doesn't have plans for Timmy in the future. Which means Timmy can go back to doing whatever he was doing before this, which means if there is animation work, rewriting established properties, established stories, and adapting them to animation, he can go back to that. But the impression I get from that is that because they've already made so many good stories, like Longest Halloween, Throne for Atlantis. They've the Earth, the one where they go up against the crime syndicate. They've taken all those good stories and they've already adapted them, which means DC or Warner Brothers Animation is running out of material. So they're running out of stories to write, and he doesn't have a job there. So wherever he goes to and does after this, that's all on him. Okay? But he won't be vilifying me as someone that still goes, I still have a pull list. I still go to my local comic book shop. But I deserve quality, and I demand quality, and I do not back crap. And that is what I'm seeing from what he's done. Like I said, he's only been doing comic books for 3 years, and the stuff that DC's been putting out for the last 3 years has been utter shit. So guess what? Guess what, Timmy? Don't blame me for not buying your crappy book. Look in the mirror and blame yourself for producing such a crappy book. And on that note, all I can say is, Michael Bancroft, thank you very much for your insight on this when you did your show last night. Thank you, Wes, for your show you did yesterday, or your video you did yesterday, and addressing this on your Saturday morning show. Congratulations to Andy Smith for hitting 108K. I can only see great things ahead of you. And thank you, Shane and Yanzi, for producing and maintaining high-quality, crowd-funded materials like your latest property, Accend, along with your insight from the industry side of what's going on with his conduct. But remember everything, folks. Life is always going to be stressful, but that's why you take it all one dot at a time.